Okay, who do you think Canada would rather have as their leader? George St. Pierre or Mark Carney? Well, I bet Canada would choose George St. Pierre. He's a real Canadian. He's respected by the UFC community worldwide, right? You see the difference there? There's one stooge who's a boomer stylist, a greedy fucker, right? Just like they all are, uh, compromised by the World Economic Forum, pretending to be Canadian. Then you have a real Canadian, or like Canadian prepper. Who do you trust with the Canadian military? You know, like that's a problem if you have a greedy stylist. Uh, you know, that could lead you to thermonuclear Armageddon, right? So there's an issue here, is what I'm saying, when you have a leader who's not even a martial artist and they have a military with soldiers, right? They might abuse their power. Okay? A martial artist is going to know to spare your opponent's life at the end of the day if they're any good, right? If they're no mercy, that is the dark side of martial arts. That's karate. You want to spare their life, like in kung fu. Okay, so to be a true master, you spare their life, right? This is why I say only cowards fight with lethal weapons. You're not going to have any respect for your leadership if you're a psychopath who kills people. And this goes to the foundation of America. Hey, you did the genocide of the natives, and then you made the Declaration of Independence, a very important document. But maybe only Thomas Jefferson actually understood it, the guy who wrote it. You know? So here's the thing, you have a right to life in America, but they never upheld it. You have psychopaths who say it's okay to kill people with the cops, right? Or to do executions. But no, you have a right to life. You get to live. That's your right to life. You're supposed to understand that as Americans. This is why I abolished abortion. Hey, that unborn baby has a right to life, ladies. Only a psychopath narcissist is going to tell you, oh, it's just a clump of cells. Okay, she's dehumanizing that unborn baby. It has a right to life, and you protect that, or it's not going to have any liberty. So, if you want to talk about liberty, no, you're taking away that unborn baby's liberty when you kill the baby. Ladies, not that's not very motherly or ethical, right? And America's foundation was ethical, but you just didn't understand it, right? So it's wrong for the U.S. military to kill people in other nations. Oops, I guess you goofed up. You're not really teaching American values. You're not teaching about how everyone has a right to life if you kill them for waving a different colored flag. Okay? So, this is the problem with nationalism. The world's smartest man is going to tell you that national conflict is just irrational tribalism. Look, why would you go to the moon with the American flag? No, you would use the world flag, don't you see? And that's the crux of nationalism. You're going to go fight over who owns the moon as a bunch of psychopaths? So that's the issue. It's a stumbling block in the way of our human progress. And to continue down this road with the nationalism that the boomers gave us, well, that's the wrong side of history. So, what we're supposed to do is consolidate every military, at least, so that you can continue the charade, right? The smartest person's going to consolidate leadership. Okay, because if you have too many cooks in the kitchen and they each want to have the atomic bomb, well, one of them might push the button and blow up the whole world. When one person does it, well, then everybody piles on and everybody pushes the bomb as a bunch of psychopaths. So, is that how you want the world to end? Your only preemptive measure for thermonuclear Armageddon is leadership. And did you know that the majority, any group at random, will vote they prefer the smartest be their leader over the most popular candidate? So I'm here to help. I've been your noocracy representative the last 11 years, but you're living in an idiocracy like the movie. Look, everyone's dumber than me. And what happens is they make fun of the smartest person like they did Joe in the movie. So all you see are these people hungry for power and attention. Well, I want to be important. I'm going to make fun of the world's smartest person. Well, it doesn't really ever pan out for them, right? So, and what they use is sardonic mockery. They're going to try and tear down the alpha male protector of the earth, right? With a bunch of their rhetoric, right? Their sardonic mockery. The lowest form of humor, they're really comic narcissists. Because Bill Cosby had the largest crowds, that's because he had wholesome humor instead of mockery. People who use mockery are psychopaths. Psychopaths like mockery, right? They're going to make fun of you even if you're the only person who can save the world. Okay? So that's the thing. Look, there's all these people hungry for power and attention. There's celebrity narcissists. Look, Donald Trump might not know his job yet. What's that mean? Well, he's a celebrity narcissist. He just wants to be famous. He just wants to be rich. Okay, like all the boomers. So you're supposed to teach Donald Trump the Declaration of Independence, since no one in America understood it for 2.5 centuries, for 249 years. Who's going to teach you basic rights? Because the smartest man's going to tell you, oh, to have a government at all in America, you need to understand and uphold basic rights, which none of you have done as Americans. Look, the cops blow people's brains out every day. They're not supposed to, even under the guise of self-defense when representing the government. Look, you acclimated abortion. You left it up to the states because you didn't understand basic rights as the government. That shows how inept you are. You don't even know the right to life yet. Okay? And you can see the vindictive side of human nature has really taken root in America when they allow execution. Some states have them, some states don't. Okay? The ones that have tried to get up with the times don't. Okay? Because you have a right to life. You don't get to justify death row anymore, because I understand the right to life. Maybe you didn't as Americans. Maybe you're going to argue otherwise as a psychopath. But we shouldn't allow psychopaths to be leaders anymore. They might attack another country, and that might lead to blowback that blows us up. Okay, so that's the problem. You're bolstering Ukraine. That could lead to World War III. Why did Biden give Ukraine billions and billions when it's a phony nation just to attack and weaken Russia? Okay? And if JFK gets shot for not giving Israel the atomic bomb, what do you do about it? Right? Now you know they just installed their own president, Johnson, right? And now you can see Donald Trump is getting a gift from Benjamin Netanyahu, a golden pager after they did terrorist attacks with pagers. Oh, Trump gets to have one that's golden that probably won't blow up, I guess. Right? You're intimidating the President of the United States and bribing him. So I'm going to appoint another president, right, of the former U.S. government. If you're going to do this imagination that America still exists 11 years after it ended, right? I'm going to appoint Ron Paul president, since he actually understood U.S. foreign policy. You're not supposed to attack other nations. You're supposed to have a non-interventionist foreign policy. We weren't supposed to go to Vietnam. Okay, we weren't supposed to attack all these other countries. We weren't supposed to topple Saddam for Israel. We weren't supposed to topple Libya and kill their leader and laugh about it like Hillary Clinton. Okay, you weren't supposed to be psychopaths as Americans, but AI and I have found that 60% of you are, and you want to see people punished even more as sadists.